Good morning. My name is Shana Johnson, and I am working to represent here with the Maryland Department of Transportation Commuter Choice Maryland program. Thank you for joining our webinar today. We're going to be discussing how to get the most out of commuter benefits for your business here as we enter tax time. So to start us off this morning, we have a poll question. How did you travel to work today? Wow, okay, 100% of you drove alone to work today. Great, you're exactly our target audience for today's conversation. Okay, so this morning we're going to be covering what Commuter Choice Maryland is, the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit, the new Maryland One-Stop portal where you can register to receive the credit for your business, and getting the most out of your tax credit each year. So, Commuter Choice Maryland, what we are the Maryland Department of Transportation's Travel Demand Management Program, which means that our work promotes alternatives to driving to work, such as taking public transportation, ride-sharing options like carpooling and vanpooling, walking, biking, telework, and flexible work schedules. We do this with the aim of helping to reduce congestion, conserve energy, protect the environment, facilitate economic opportunity, and really preserve and enhance the quality of life for all Marylanders. The things that our program specifically offers is that we can assist both employers and individual commuters with information on their various transportation options and programs that exist, such as Guaranteed Ride Home, transit options, starting and accessing vanpool services, carpool services for individual employers or for commuters, information on biking and walking, and helping you to explore options such as flexible work schedules and telework for your business. We also provide an array of informational materials that are mostly available on the website, commuterchoicemaryland.com. We can also provide printed information for your business and your employees, should you want that. And we do outreach to commuters across the state at various events to help them understand what their transportation options are and increase their level of comfort with using all of the options that are available. We provide direct assistance to employers, both with developing and examining your current commuter benefits programs, as well as in implementing and taking advantage of opportunities such as the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit that we'll be speaking about today. We do webinars and do other informational materials, such as the one today. We also have a number of employer toolkits on the website, and I'll highlight a few of those in this presentation to help you with every single step of communicating and implementing a commuter benefits program. We also provide marketing materials that you can use directly with your employees to help them understand their transportation options. So as I mentioned, we have a number of brand new business toolkits. These are all available on commuterchoicemaryland.com. We have a guide to employer commuter benefits, which step-by-step takes you through all the considerations in developing a commuter benefits program that meets the needs of your business. We also have developed a van pool toolkit for both employers and commuters that talks about what is a van pool, what the van pool options are in our state, and how you can access more information and assistance with either joining a van pool or accessing a van pool leasing company services or setting up a van pool program for yourself. We've additionally completed a guide to telework for employers, which covers a lot of the common concerns in developing a telework program and helps employers think through how telework may fit at their business. We have done a number of quarterly webinars, including this one. All of them, including today's webinar, have been recorded, or in today's case, are being recorded, and are available at commuterchoicemaryland.com. We've covered in detail both the tax credit and commuter benefits, implementing options such as telework, alternative work schedules, and van pools, the business benefits of bike and walk-friendly workplaces, employee commute options in relation to planning a business relocation, and learning about the various tools that are to help businesses apply commuter benefits. And again, all of those are available on commuterchoicemaryland.com for your viewing. And this graphic just shows you how this all fits together for our employer program at Commuter Choice Maryland. Through helping employers develop programs that promote options that meet their employees' commuter needs. We both help benefit our employers and employees in the state. Commuter benefits have been linked to increasing job satisfaction, playing a role with workforce retention, and increasing productivity among employees. Employers also benefit by being able to claim benefits such as the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit, as well as federal pre-tax, which we'll also cover today. And by implementing employer benefits, commuter benefits, you help achieve any corporate social responsibilities you have by decreasing the imprint on the environment that transportation has, and helping to preserve and enhance quality of life in our state, reducing congestion and making it easier for everyone to get around. So commuter tax benefits. So we have another poll question here, which is, does your organization currently offer commuter benefits? I'll give you a few seconds to respond to this one. Okay. 40% yes, 20% no, 40% unsure. Those are interesting results. Hopefully after today, we'll have given you all the tools that you need to think about getting 100% of our organizations to yes. So what are commuter benefits? Commuter benefits result in savings for both the employer and employee. They are transportation fringe benefits that are regulated under Section 132F of the IRS tax code, which this is the federal tax code. So in this case, we're talking about federal tax benefits. Commuter benefits can be provided in one of three ways: simply as a pre-tax deduction from payroll, so the employee is paying for costs related to using transit, van pool, or parking, and they're taking that out of their paycheck pre-tax. The employer can also provide a direct subsidy, and there can also be a combination between pre-tax and employer. In 2020, the amount set is $270 per month of qualified commuter benefits can be taken out of employee paychecks pre-tax or directly subsidized. So a little bit more options on these, information on these options. For this example, on the employer-supported option, an employer provides an employee with up to $270 a month in tax-free commuter benefits. The employer would ride transit all month for low or no cost, assuming that their monthly transit fare is $270 or less. And one thing to note that as of January 2018, employers are no longer allowed to deduct expenses tied to providing transit subsidies. However, employers continue to not have to pay payroll taxes on the employer-provided benefits. In the pre-tax option, the employee purchases a transit pass using or a van pool fare using a pre-tax salary deduction. The employee's federal, state, and FICA taxes are reduced because they have lower taxable wages. The employee then rides transit all month for essentially less than full fare, and the employer saves on payroll taxes. The third option is a combination where the employer may pay a portion of the employee's transit cost. So, for example, maybe instead of the full $270, an employer gives $50 or $100, and then the employee pays the remaining cost as a pre-tax salary deduction. So, for example, in my case, my monthly MARC fare is $135, and my employer provides $100 in a subsidy. I provide $35 in pre-tax. And again, the employers are no longer allowed to deduct these expenses tied to providing transit subsidies, but still get the benefit of providing the subsidy tax-free. There are many, many reasons to offer commuter benefits, from reducing bottom line costs due to increased quality of work, productivity, greater ability to recruit top employees and to retain them, improving employee morale, and contributing to work-life balance by reducing the stress of the commute, reducing parking demand at your organization. So if you're on a campus or in a building where parking is expensive or very limited in availability, this is certainly a key tool to help you with that. Making your organization a more desirable place to work, helping you to meet any sustainability goals you may have, and certainly the tax benefits. So if your organization offers commuter benefits, you may be eligible for the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit. This is a state tax credit. It's unique to Maryland. Maryland is, I believe, the only state in the country that's currently offering this type of tax credit. We have a wealth of information about the tax credit available on our website, commuterchoicemaryland.com. And today we're going to talk more about the tax credit and how you can register your business to receive that in this tax season, and answer any questions you may have during the Q&A. And we're certainly available to help you further with this after, and encourage you all to look at our website to see all of the resources we have on the tax credit there. So first, poll question here in this section: are you aware of the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit? Give you just one more minute to respond. Okay. Well, this is certainly interesting. Many of you have heard of it. Some of you have not, but no one's organization currently receives it. So hopefully today we can give you the information you may need to access the tax credit going forward. So what is this Maryland Commuter Tax Credit? Employers can claim a tax credit for up to 50% of the eligible costs of providing commuter benefits up to a maximum of $100 per participating employee per month. The tax credit can then be taken against state personal income tax, corporate income tax, or the insurance premium tax. To qualify for the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit, you must be a Maryland employer. This includes employers that are registered as a 501c3 or 501c4 organization. The employer must pay a portion of the cost of an employee's travel between home and work, including the purchase of transit fare, and you do have to re-register to receive the tax credit annually through commuterchoicemaryland.com. Qualifying expenses for the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit include MTA, fare media, including passes or vouchers used by employees to ride the fare MTA system, or other public transit systems or private transit systems. It does not include any funding you may provide to your employees for the use of taxis. Any Metro or WMATA system fare for those of you who are located in the Washington, D.C. region also is a qualifying expense. If you operate a company van pool program or a company guaranteed ride home program that pays for the costs of taxi rides home for employees that regularly take transit or ride sharing in the event that they have to work late or have an emergency, if you provide that type of service, that's also a qualifying expense. And if you provide what's called a cash in lieu of parking or parking cash out program, which is essentially what, instead of providing a parking space to an employee, you give them a portion of what it would have otherwise cost you to purchase that parking space. So if it was $100 a month, you may be giving your employee $50 a month not to come and park at that parking space and to give it up entirely. If you provide those types of benefits, what you spend on the parking cash out program is also a qualifying expense for the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit. So now we're going to talk about how you actually register to receive the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit, and that is through the new Maryland One Stop portal. Previously, it doesn't appear that this was the case for anyone on the line today, but for organizations that previously received the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit, they filled this information out for the registration through an online survey tool. Now, as of late last year, this registration is available through the Maryland One Stop portal, which is a central site for the registration of Maryland state licenses, forms, other information. Is all found through the One Stop portal now, and we'll show you in a moment how to access that through commuterchoicemaryland.com. So to get onto the One Stop portal, you do have to register for a Maryland One Stop account. It only requires your name and a valid email. Be sure that you verify that email address, and then once you've done that, you should be able to find the tax credit and through searching, and we'll right now show you how to walk through that process. Okay. So this is a site. If you type in commuterchoicemaryland.com, this is what site you will land on, which is our website that has the wealth of information for commuter resources, employer resources. Again, you can access our past webinar and newsletters. If you'd like to sign up for our newsletter, definitely come and make sure you're on our list. But for today, we're going to look through our employer resources site. And once you get onto this page, you'll see that there are a variety of locations you can go to get to the tax credit registration. Click on Maryland Commuter Tax Credit. And this nice button, Tax Credit Online Registration Form, will take you there. Again, there's more detailed information about the tax credit available in our brochure. You can also go directly to onestop.maryland.gov. We do recommend that you come to our website and take in all of the information that we have before getting to the tax credit. And it looks like I need to re-log in here, so I will do that now. Okay, so now I'm logged in. And if you were starting on the home page, again, just search for commuter tax credit. It comes up. And then you can click onto the online form. This page gives you, again, information about what the tax credit is and how you can qualify for it. And it will take up 15 to 30 minutes of your time to complete this form. And then when you're ready, you can hit apply now. And so the first question you receive is, are you ready to register for the tax credit? There is an option if you are not ready to register for the tax credit but want to get more information about how Maryland can support your business with exploring your commuter options. We do make that option available here, but because you've come here today to access the commuter tax credit, hit yes. And then we are at the form, and the entire form is on a single page. And we start with understanding what the taxable period was, your employer information. Anything that has this red star is a required question, and there are a number of questions that are not actually required, that are not, especially at the end. I'll go through those in a second. But anytime you see this red asterisk, that means that information is required for you to be able to access the tax credit. And we ask you for additional information about whether you're providing commuter benefits at more than one facility, whether you're claiming a transit commuter benefit, the total amount of commuter benefit for subsidized cost of transit is here. Then we ask specifically about van pool commuter benefits, the total amount of commuter benefits for a company-provided van pool program you would put here. Then the next question is about whether you provide commuter benefits for, in terms of a cash in lieu of parking or that parking cash out program that we talked about. Then you put the total amount of eligible cash in lieu for parking expenses you've put here. Again, the amount should be 50% up to $100 per month that you've spent per employee. Finally, there's a question about the guaranteed ride home commuter benefit. Again, if that's a company-provided program, not to be confused with there are, for the Washington and Baltimore area, there's a publicly provided guaranteed ride home program through another service called Commuter Connections. That is not this. This is if your company is providing a guaranteed ride home program specifically to your employees that you're funding. And then in this section, we're looking at a summary for the total value that you have put in terms of your commuter benefit program. And actually, this line calculates the 50%. So my apologies, this should be the 100% value. The 50% value comes here. Then we'll ask you about per month, the number of participating employees and the total value that you're claiming. Again, for, if there's nothing, should be nothing. And then the lesser value of line 1B, which was that 50% of commuter benefits paid. And 1E is the tax credit amount. This information definitely should be reviewed in detail. This is not the only documentation that you need to receive the tax credit. This form, MW508CR, has to be submitted with form MW508, the Maryland Annual Employer Withholding Reconciliation Report, in order to claim the credit. And so if you're a 501c3 and C4, that is actually the form 508CR. It's a slightly different form. And so definitely review this information so that when you actually submit your taxes, you have all the supporting information also in these forms that go with the taxes. But you do have to do both: register here on Maryland One Stop and submit the forms, additional documentation needed in order to receive the commuter tax credit. And these forms are for state and local income tax. If you decide to take the Maryland Commuter Maryland Commuter Tax against your insurance premiums tax, there is a slightly different documentation that is required that is detailed here. And if you're unsure about which one of these might be more beneficial for you to take, at this point we would recommend that you talk with a tax attorney or review that internally as you make your tax decisions. And the rest of the questions are all things that we would like to know. So if you get to this point and you feel like you'd like to be done, that's great. However, we'd love to know more about your businesses, and we like to recognize businesses in the state. So if you're interested in being recognized as an exemplary business providing commuter benefits to your employees in the future, let us know here. What's your tax credit history? We'd like to be able to know how we're doing in terms of increasing participation with the tax credit. We'd also like to know more about your business, what type of business you are, how big you are, when you operate, what your typical hours of operation are, what your full-time versus part-time, seasonal, what's the profile of your workforce and your site, where you're located, and what types of policies do you have? Do you have telework, flex time, staggered work schedule, compressed work weeks? Some of these may be not applicable to certain types of businesses. We certainly understand that. And then any other information you can provide on any workplace commuter policies. And if you distribute information about alternative commute options to your employees, be that in display cases or bulletin boards, intranet newsletters, other types of brochure distribution or electronic distribution, real-time travel information and distribution. We'd also like to know about your parking. So you can let us know if you have preferential parking for carpool or vanpool, if your employees pay to park or not, or if there's free parking nearby. If you offer a parking subsidy, and if you are providing electric vehicle charging or in a building that provides electric vehicle charging. What's sort of the profile of your parking situation? Again, all of these questions in the section about the profile of your business are just optional, so that we'd like to get to know who's using our tax credit a little bit better. You can answer or skip any of these types of questions that you like, but we would like to know about the number of on-site parking spaces, the total number of leased and owned spaces, what spaces are accessible, and how many electric vehicle parking charging stations you have in your parking facility. We'll also ask a number of different questions about bikes, bike racks, and bike rack availability. If you're a part of a bike share program, which is available in several parts of the state, and if you offer financial incentives for biking and walking, pedestrian accessibility at the site, as well as bicycle facilities available at your site, how you support carpooling and vanpooling, transit access at your site, and then you have come to the end of the form. So down here you'll see this is a red asterisk, so another consent place. You hit agree, and then you can just go to this button and hit submit. If you have any questions about this form, need help, want us to walk you through actually filling it out, we are available via phone, 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. This is the number. It's also available on commuterchoicemaryland.com, or you can reach us via email at commuterchoice@m.maryland.gov, and we'll be happy to assist you with all of this. We certainly, again, all these questions down here are optional. We just need you to get through these required asterisk questions to enable to claim the tax credit, which are far fewer than what's on this form. So that's great. With that, I'm going to conclude this part of the webinar where we're looking at the tax credit registration form. I realize that you probably have a number of questions about this. Definitely feel free to type questions into our questions box, and we will get back to those at the end of the presentation, whether they're questions on the form itself or any other questions that you've had throughout the presentation. Okay. So this we've pretty much covered with what we just walked through on the form demonstration. So what the key information pieces that you need to know is how much you're spending on the qualified benefits, employees participating per month, and how much you're spending on qualified benefits per employee per month. Some of that basic information about your business. Again, it's not that whole form. It's a very small subset of that form that's actually required, and information about your company's commute policies. You do need to file this Form 500 CR, or if you're 501c3 or 501c4, Form 508 CR with your MW 508 with your taxes. So we have come to our final poll question for today, which is, would you like or do you need assistance with the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit? Great. So it looks like we do have some of you that will be able to help going forward with accessing the tax credit, and that is wonderful news. So this last section of today's presentation before we go to Q&A is about getting the most out of the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit and your Commuter Benefits program. So after you register for the tax credit, we recommend that you review what benefits you offer and how you will offer them, and promote your commuter benefits. The more your employees use them, the more money that your business can receive from the tax credit. And so some initial steps. We have not only our staff here at Commuter Choice Maryland, but we have partners located throughout the state at the local level who are your transportation demand management or rideshare specialist. We all work individually with employers to help them review their commuter benefits programs and understand how they can change and enhance those to better meet the needs of their business, as well as to set some achievable goals for yourselves and help you throughout the implementation process for your commuter benefits programs. One thing that we highly recommend for all of the organizations that we work with is to have a specific employer transportation coordinator who it's part of their job to understand, design, promote, implement, administer your commuter benefits program. And depending on the size of the organization, it can also be helpful to identify sort of your champions or enthusiastic employees that are going to support the effort and really expand the knowledge amongst their coworkers and throughout your organization about the type of commuter benefits that you offer. And sometimes that even takes the form of employees who bike, reaching out directly and partnering with other employees who are interested in biking but are less experienced. It may be same thing, offering to help other employees navigate a transit commute for the first time. Anything that will help your organization disseminate information about the commuter benefits that you offer and help others in the organization to more fully utilize them. Another aspect of getting the most out of your commuter benefits program that we highly recommend is to conduct an employee commute survey. Typically, we do recommend these are done periodically, maybe once a year, to really understand what your employees' commute needs are and what their interest is. For every employer, this is going to be different. And we want to understand what's their current travel behavior, what challenges are they having, and what are their specific interests in other options. For some businesses, it may be teleworking would be a great option. For other types of businesses, that's not an option, but an alternative may be to work with a van pool provider or better facilitate ride sharing. No two commutes are going to be alike. No two businesses are going to be alike. Conducting an employee commute survey really helps us understand what the profile of your individual employees are and helps provide information to think through how your commuter benefits program may best be structured to meet the specific needs of your employees. Commuter Choice Maryland, we do have an employee survey that we can administer for you. These are customizable surveys, and you get all of the results back. There's no employee identifying information in the surveys themselves. And so we can help you not only conduct but analyze the information and make recommendations on the types of things you may want to consider for your commuter benefits program based on the responses of your employees. Once you've developed a commuter benefits program or revise your commuter benefits program, you certainly want to think about how you administer the program. There's certainly the option to administer, and it again depends on the types of commuter benefits you've decided to select for your business of administering it in-house. There's also a number of outside vendors and tools that you can utilize to actually help provide transit subsidies. In the Washington region, there's a Smart Benefits tool that is provided at no cost to employers, and there's a range of other privately provided options to consider when you're thinking about administering your commuter benefits program. You certainly want to consider the time that it's going to take your organization to do that, available funding, when you want to get it going, and what ultimately the costs that you would like to spend are able to spend on the endeavor. Having a commuter benefits policy stated can also help employees understand the basics. Who can qualify for commuter benefits, what benefits are available, whether you have a probationary period, for example, for telework, when they can enroll in commuter benefits, how and when they can cancel or change their commuter benefits, and who to contact when they have questions or issues arising with any of the commuter benefits that are being provided. In terms of promoting the program, there's a number of different things you can do, from actually creating a benefits enrollment form, If that, depending on how your other benefits are set up, that may or may not be something you would want to do. Sending out communications electronically to staff, whether that's an email, company intranet, including information on the employee's paychecks, posting flyers in shared spaces like break rooms, human resources offices, anywhere where employees are likely to congregate. Updating your employee handbook, certainly essential to reflect what your new benefits and policies are, including the information also in any new hire orientations that you have, annual benefits presentations, also key. Having one of our folks come in and present, we're certainly more than willing to come in and give you a presentation to your employees about all of the options that exist, help them individually, and also present on your commuter benefits program with you at your place of work. And similarly, if you host a commuter or benefits fair, we'd certainly like to be a part of that. But you can also have times where you have a number of different vendors, whether they're a company that leases van pools, whether it might be a local transit provider, other types of providers that are serving the commute needs of our community. You can host a fair and invite many of them to come present to your employees all at once. And any other ways you have to encourage your employees to sign up are definitely things that you should think about when you're trying to promote and enhance the usage of your commuter benefits program. So, as I mentioned, we have a number of folks throughout the state that are able and ready to assist you in all of our counties. And so if you visit commuterchoicemaryland.com, you can click on the jurisdiction where your business is located, and it will connect you with your local transportation demand or rideshare specialist, and they will be able to walk you step through this process. If you're unsure about where to start, you can always reach out to us here at Commuter Choice Maryland, and we'll get you to the right place. As I mentioned, we're always here to help. Any questions at all, this is how you can reach us. We also have a couple of neat videos we recommend that you take a look at for employers and commuters on our services. And with that, we're going to conclude the presentation piece of today's webinar, and we're looking forward to taking your questions.
Great. Thank you, Shana. We do have a couple of questions that came through. One person asked, if my organization currently offers the commuter benefits under Section 132F of the tax code, can we also take advantage of the Maryland commuter tax credit?
The answer to that is yes, you can take advantage of both. Those benefits that you're offering, if they are subsidized, if it's just a pre-tax benefit that can't come out of the Maryland commuter tax credit, it has to be the actual subsidy. So if you're providing a subsidy, and you're receiving a federal tax benefit through the payroll taxes, you can also receive the Maryland commuter tax benefit for van pool, transit fare, company guaranteed ride home, and those types of benefits can be taken.
How important is it to select an employer transportation coordinator? Is this something that's recommended for all business sizes? Because, you know, some businesses are smaller than others and have the capacity to bring on somebody as a ETC, or may not have the capacity to do that.
That's a really good question. I think that no matter the size of the business, there's a benefit to having someone be the ETC. Now, whether that person is a full-time with responsibility for, various aspects of transportation for your employer, or whether maybe it's somebody in your HR department and, this is a small part of their job at a small organization, or, if you're a really small organization, Um, you know, don't have an HR department, could be just another employee whose tasks is the point of contact. It's still important no matter what size you are, although sort of the time commitment and um, the level of involvement that it takes is very different. So for a really large organization, say university campus or a large employer that may have a facility that has multiple shifts, for example, you may want to have somebody or you may already have somebody whose job involves managing your parking facilities, managing transportation and access to the site. That's often a natural fit for that person to become the ETC. And in some cases, there are folks who are, again, in these very large institutions, full-time being the ETC, but I would say that is an exception that's limited to very large institutions.
Great. How important is it to conduct an employee commute survey? Also, this business shared that they don't have the capability to conduct data analysis of survey results in-house. Who is available to help them with this task?
So I think that, to really best understand what types of benefits are going to be beneficial for your organization, the best way to do that is conducting an employee commute survey. It's not to say that if you don't do that, you will not be able to have a good commuter benefits program. But again, every employer is unique, and your workforce is, facing individual challenges. The more that you know about what are the specific challenges and what are the specific things that your workforce is interested in doing, the better you can do in terms of designing a commuter benefits program. It's going to be well utilized and beneficial to your business. And in terms of availability of folks to help you, we can certainly help. We have a survey that is ready to go that we can administer for you through Commuter Choice Maryland and all of our local programs that support the communities throughout Maryland. And we can also customize that survey in conjunction with you for your business.
Great, thank you, Shana. All right, well, that's all the questions that we have today. On behalf of Commuter Choice Maryland, we'd like to thank everyone for their time and participation today. This session has been recorded and will be available for viewing later at commuterchoicemaryland.com. Thank you again.
Yep.